Good morning and welcome to another lesson for A-level media studies. The purpose of today's lesson is to thoroughly talk about the paper, possibilities, a quick recap of everything you can say. So starting with the past paper questions, here we have questions from 2015 till October of 2022. We have almost 48 to 50 questions, which are clearly showing us a trend of what kind of questions can pop up in the exam and how should we be prepared for that. So this is a quick summary, just like in cricket match, they show us a summary of a match, the summary of the questions, when did they come, how did they come, what is the quantity, what are the possibilities. So as we discussed earlier, the ones which are highlighted in green, although they belong to three different categories, but we can flip them out according to our three or four already prepared case studies, and we can flip these questions according to our case studies without giving any idea or hint to the examiners of Cambridge that we are trying to write something pre-made or pre-memorized. This is the fun part actually. So we will talk about it later on. We also have how to answer a certain question, and we have a vocabulary because if I talk about questions, let's say the first one is explain how media institutions means production companies, like media institution means those who produce or distribute or market the media, any form of media, and especially the films. Okay, film studios, production houses, distribution companies, publishers, etc., all come under the category of media institutions. So, explain how media institutions respond to the changing demands of the audience. So, audience is highlighted, which means that it's question of the category of audience, right? And if I say audience means media consumption, how audience perceive or interact with a message. Obviously, audience receive products and then marketing content. And if you can see, the most of the time, such category of sub questions came, which is 16 in count from 2015 till this one. And without any surprise, it came last year, and possibilities are there, maybe or maybe not, but we can't prepare or get ready based upon the possibilities. We have to, secure ourselves. Secondly, assess the importance of synergy for marketing. In the media area you have studied means media area you have studied always means films, right? Media area you have studied always means over here in A-level media studies, it means films. Actually, we have option to answer in terms of video games and newspaper or magazines, but since we are a bit good in films rather than newspaper and magazine research or video game research, that's why we'll be answering in terms of films. So media area you have studies means films and Hollywood dramas or seasons. We have to answer in terms of films actually. So again, explain how audiences are targeted. So this is a question of either audience or targeting, which is marketing actually. Targeted, built and maintained by media organizations. Again, June 2022. Or analyze the importance of technologies used for distribution. If you go down in the summary, distribution is fine, but we won't touch production technologies. Why is that? So we will leave it on choice. Why? Because those three or four films which we have already memorized or shortlisted as our case studies, chances are there that we may not find ample amount of information about the technologies used in the production or marketing of the film, except the films like Avatar, who actually, make sure to get certain technologies invented for their films, and they proudly share those details on the social media or on the internet. But other than those, the Avatar kind of films, we may not be able to find much detail about our chosen films production technologies. That's why it's a no-go area. We will leave it on choice. And moving on, maybe the fifth question. I'm trying to give you a quick, you know, idea, recap, the plan, trying to get you comfortable with the questions. They are not scary. You shouldn't be scared of them, and how to tackle this situation nice and easy. We will be talking about it as well. The sixth one is, brother, the fifth one. How important is technological convergence? I mean, technological overlapping, the merger of technologies in the media area you have studies. And we have already talked about technological convergence, a process by which range of media platforms are integrated within a single piece of thing. Phone is a very good example of cell phone or smartphone is the technological convergence. So in other words, how significant is mobile phone for audience and media companies for films? So in this kind of question, these are all questions from 2022 till now, last year, either June or different variants or October, that what is the role of mobile phone for films in this modern world? The storyline, the bottom line is actually we will try to reinforce in our answer or solution that filmmakers try to reach their audience through mobile phones, and mobile phone is the most convenient thing, very personal thing for audience, to which they get the news, they get the information, they get the entertainment, they get to interact with their friends and family. In other words, even they sleep with their cell phone. It's always with them, which is a good news for filmmakers and distributors and marketing agencies of the film, because they will no longer have to find and look for or search for the potential audience, which they had to in the past when they had to place billboards and hoardings and posters on the walls, on the streets, on the roads, hoping and just hoping that their right potential possible customer might also see their message. But now the game is totally changed thanks to internet, social media, smartphone, and on top of that, AI, through artificial intelligence and machine learning. They can now pinpoint, target their audience based upon the genre, their age, their geographical location, their likes and dislikes, the previous film they watched, the previous content they streamed either on Netflix or Amazon or HBO or blah blah blah. Which kind of game they had been playing. It's always there through the browser cookies or to a smartphone, and these information are sold by the phones and the software companies in the marketing advertisement market industry, and through these information about candidates browsing habits or audience browsing or likes and dislikes, they get more and more content, which is quite likely for them to subscribe and to pay and to watch. So you have to write such a thing in the beginning in your own words, in your own style. You don't need to copy mine. You can write well, better than me, but there should be a structure and you should clearly state your point of view, and then you will share your point and justify your logic with the help of two or three or four, at least three case studies if you're aiming for a higher grade, and maybe a fourth one. Although you will have not more than 40 to 45 minutes in the exam for section B for this kind of question, because like we talked earlier, it's a 2 hour or 120 minutes exam, in which out of which 30 minutes would be spent or lost in the screening of that 2 to 3 minutes clip. So minusing or subtracting 30 minutes, you'll be left with 90 minutes in total, and you will have to answer section A in the first half of the 90, which is 45 minutes, and the last section B in 40 to 45 minutes. So it will be a race with that ticking clock, and things will be quite uh, tricky and speedy, and you have to be super smart and clever. Well, moving on. Uh, well, sorry. So moving on to something more visual. I think I talked a lot already. So this is the vocabulary list. You can say what is synergy, what is convergence, what is consumption of the media, means watching media, media institutions you already know now. Global institution means production houses which are spanning all across the globe. Similarly, this document is helping you out that how to answer a certain question. This time it's consumption, and here it is targeting the audience. And one question, for example, October 22, for example, importance of synergy means collaboration for marketing. And you have, as I remember, I guided my students in the beginning of their research for case studies that you should look for how your selected film was marketed. How did they uh, use all avenues of marketing to reach maximum audience through social media, through tweets, through TikTok, through sending their star cast in the morning and evening shows, by collaborating with gaming studios, with singers and celebrities and NFA, NHL, NBA, sports leagues, you know, um, even McDonald's. How, what were those all possible venues or possible options they used to market and market and market and reach and reach and reach more audience? So that was the marketing thing, was the starting point of your research. And once you did that, now we can flip it and you can state the same old story by unwrapping the marketing thing and wrapping it up in a fresh wrap of consumption, because the filmmakers do marketing and then as a result audience consume. So marketing and consumption, and for marketing they digitally distribute their content in bits and bytes, chunks and pieces, in the form of tweets, in the form of news, in the form of their starcast using their social media platforms, or in the form of uh, going on to YouTube advertisement and marketing, and by collaborating with which is synergy actually, collaborating with toy makers and merchandise makers, and collaborating with singers and concerts and gaming leagues, so they distribute. So in case of a distribution question, you will have to firstly draw some basics, that distribution includes not only distributing the entire film or the series either on the cinema screens or on the screens of the audience through streaming platforms. It is distribution actually, but distribution is not limited to this in the modern world. Even distributing through Blu-rays and DVDs, which is things of the past now, but distribution also includes, you have to specify. If you will not be able to properly connect your research, which you actually did for marketing, you will not be able to reconnect it with the distribution question, which is a hack actually. So to make that hack work for you, you have to smartly specify that distribution is also distributing chunks and bits of the content to provoke the audience to watch the entire thing, which will be distributed later, or to create the hype of the product, or to extend the shelf life of the product, which is a film actually. So you have to make a base. Then you will be writing all those marketing things in the name of distribution, in the guise of or disguise of distribution. Then it will be absorbable or digestible by the Cambridge examiner. And obviously for marketing, for distribution, they do collaborations. They do temporary and permanent mergers. And if that collaboration is temporary, we will call it synergy. If that collaboration is permanent, forever, like Marvel, Disney, Pixar, they are one now, keeping their names separate, but still we know that they co-own each other. We will call it convergence. If they talk about just benefits of convergence for media ownership, then we will talk about managerial convergence, like companies managing each other. But if they talk about technical convergence, then there is no topic of or hint of Marvel, Disney, Pixar. We'll be calling using the phenomenon of cell phone, which is a very good example of technical convergence. I would like to share another document here, which I have shared already with my students, but I would like to reinforce it here uh, in just a moment. Where are you, Synergy? And just a moment, dear. I am trying to locate that document. Synergy and convergence. Where, here we go. Uh, it should be here. Sorry for this dead silence. I got it. Yeah, this is. If they talk about, like, if you go back to the question, technical convergence, the merger of technology, then we will be referring to cell phones. And every technology is merging into cell phone. Cell phone is like we talked earlier, it's a gaming device, it's a television, it's an internet browsing thing, it's a texting device, it's a navigation device, it's a calling device, it's a camera phone, it's a music player, it's everything now. There was a time you had to carry on 2 or 3 or 4 gadgets for separate purposes. Now just one cell phone, good for online classes, good for online business, e-commerce, good for shopping, good for streaming, good for creating content, good for absorbing or consuming content. You just need your cell phone is your business device, your online shop, online store. So technical convergence means just you have to recall this image. And if they talk about general convergence or specifically managerial convergence or convergence and benefit of convergence for media owners, you can say, then we have to think of merger of Disney, Pixar, and Marvel. And after convergence, and they were able to make these, you know, super duper films, blockbuster films, which made our childhood beautiful. So, they were able to produce these many films. After merger, Marvel was able to make these, and Disney was able to make these films after merger with Pixar, because Pixar had their very specialized 3D software, which they actually created or invented, called RenderMan. Well, you can talk about it if you have researched on it, or if not, then I don't mind. But your answer should give an idea to the examiner that this kid is a media nerd, full of knowledge. Well, moving on to the structural part of the question, like whatever the terms are in the question, try to touch and go, define them, like define the term one, what is audience to you, what is spread of technology to you, one-liner thing. Then you have to start reusing terms of the question to make an impression to the examiner that you are on the line, you are relevant, you are not copy pasting something else, which you actually are. Then connect all those terms meaningfully with the question. Then if they're asking you your opinion, like how far they're asking your opinion, how significant your opinion, but explain, hey, they're not asking for your opinion or analyze. You should know the meaning of these words, right? So to what extent, in like half of the question, they do ask for your opinion. So you have to clearly specify, clear opinion about the question, because in many cases, examiners have issues and complaints that they do not get idea till the end of the answer that what exam or candidate is about to say, or what is his or her point. then you have to support your point with the case studies, and please do not tell the story of the film. Just one liner. Okay, this film is about a superhero doing this and that. That is all. In which year it is released, it's fine. The director, it's fine, but don't go in detail. Rather, stay on the point. If a question is of marketing or distribution or collaboration, you have to talk about that point only, right? Cause and you have to showcase your research by adding facts that don't mention that they did collaborations with social media companies. No, mention with YouTube. And the first trailer was viewed by these many million people within this time frame. They made arrangement for collaboration with that toy maker, not just toy makers or that celebrity. You have to name them. You have to name them that hashtag to be specific. Like you mentioned earlier, touch and go. You will not be able to go in detail. If you will, you will take time of other case studies, and in conclusion, or in fact, you won't be able to write well a good A graded response. If you will aim for A graded response, and if you will be able to manage time well, then you may get A or B, but we should be targeting on. Then relate your research case study with again and again by using terms of the question. And before moving to the next case study, you have to conclude your first case study in one line, one liner, like so that again giving impression to the examiners that you are on the track. Same strategy with the case study 2, same with the 3, and the last one, you will be giving like 4, 5, 6 lines conclusion, where you will be talking about everything which you have already talked about, but this time in a conclusive way. And if they ask you to explain something rather than your own opinion, but still you can, if you want to, give your opinion in the end if you want to. So this is a whole structure, whole plan of action, you can say, to tackle the question in the exams. And I hope that things are a bit more comfortable. You knew all these things, just a refresher, you can say. And be brave. Your case study should be perfect. They should be in shape. And try questions now and get them checked and graded by me or your teacher. And I'm pretty sure that you will be having fun at the exam. You will enjoy it, and keeping in view if you will follow this structure. So with this, let's take a break and hoping for something good from your side. Take care. Bye-bye.